Shout out to the VIP. This is London with Bitcoin Spike. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. We were chatting in the back end. Guys, I just got to tell you, the VIP were hanging out in the back. We were just chilling there. And I was talking with Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Anthony, VIP for a long time. Also shouting out to Freddie. We were just chilling in the back and we were just chatting. And I'm like, we should get to streaming. What's up, Freddie? Hope you're doing well, my man. VIP. Let's go over a few details on BTC, see what on Bitcoin, see what we're doing. Anyone who's new to the channel, you guys subscribe, hit the like button, etc. And we just have some nice price action on BTC. It's kind of surprised, up 1.36%. Looks like we're in a bit of a falling wedge in this zone. We have an upside target, and we've had that for a bit here, just an upside target amidst this downward pressure. And I thought we could talk about the mechanisms that we're using to establish those targets. Let's go over this so that you guys are aware of this. And Anthony, since you're plugged in right now, I think it's a good time to kind of begin the discussion that we may continue maybe this weekend a little bit. We'll chit-chat about some futures and stuff like that. But anytime that we have a wedge, important stuff, guys. And since you're in the mix, I may actually stream this with you guys just to make sure we understand this. And then, I don't know, I may actually delete the stream. Just boom. Just wipe it out. Keep it VIP exclusive, right? And to the extent, guys, that we have this specific, and that's just for the guys in the back. Shout out to everybody, by the way, all the base campers. Angel on top, what's up? We were just chatting about some stuff in the back, and Anthony hadn't been around in a while, so I'm like, okay, Anthony, what's up? We need to talk a little bit. He and I are going to talk on Saturday, and anyone I haven't talked to or whatnot, send me your cell phone, please. DM me your cell phone. That's really easy stuff, guys. And I'm looking forward to talking to anyone who I haven't. There's just some good tactics we put together recently. Level of support, level of resistance, the higher function here. This specific descending wedge. Now, the fact that it has failed, I want to cover one thing with you guys. In terms of BTC, Bitcoin, current price, 29,117. Why do I have this as a target? Bam. This specific level. Because the wedge failed. I want to see price recover at least to this apex, okay? Now, that's in the event of a failure of the wedge. Understand, I would designate this right now as kind of an orphan wedge, right? We have an orphan or orphan target above, right, with an orphan wedge. Bam. The point, and shout out to Jubal. Jubal, what's up? What's going on in the back, brother? Hope you're doing well. Great charts, by the way. Great charts. I'm working on those fans. In terms of this, guys, understand when a descending wedge fails, right, when it fails, okay, it's going to pour down because technically, generally, a descending wedge is going to want to be bullish, right? So a descending wedge failing looks like this, boom, to the downside, okay? And I'd like to see price, okay, recover at least to the apex. Just for starters, in terms of the overall, I'd say theory, in terms of targeting, what makes this a target to the upside right now, okay? It was still a target down here. Okay, the further we get away, it's still a target. At some point, you'll decide to abandon the target. At some point, you may decide to abandon the target. We have an upside target right now. I'll talk about that right now. Same technique. We have a descending wedge here, and you guys will be able to appreciate this. We have a descending wedge in this zone. Where's my target? Well, the wedge, supposed to break to the upside, failed to the downside. Bam. BTC, this is on the 4 hourly. This right here, the apex. I'd like to see price recover at least to that apex. Now, as I put this into context, I'll talk about rising wedges, but let's take a look at the daily. I want you to see the daily in terms of how this targeting technique can operate, but what it could put you through, okay? In terms of a descending wedge, let's take a look at this. The descending wedge here, okay, this was at a $65,000, the $65,000, because it's like, well, you know, London, this would be too easy. Really, huh? Here you go. Look, the descending wedge from the $65,000 mark. We had the level of support and resistance descending and constricting, okay, to a descending apex, definition of a descending wedge. And what happened? We failed to break out to the upside. We failed to the downside. This is my target. This becomes my target. Bam. So you can see that this looks pretty simple now, doesn't it? On the daily, that looks pretty easy. No problem. You're down here. Of course, you're just going to recover up to that. In the context, it seems real easy, right? Now, if we had gone down to the, instead of the 50% retracement, let's say the golden pocket or the 786 or the 86, to still be looking at a target up here. That'd be pretty tough, guys, right? So when we discuss these, you're going to have some on smaller time frames that are going to be abandoned. You're going to have to say that one's gone. It's just it's gone. The probability is that they will get recovered. I'll say from what we've seen thus far, it's not a guaranteed lock. There's not a guaranteed lock on it. I'll tell you, if you're trading on leverage, you risk getting completely poured out, guys. If you're on leverage, maybe there's another 20, 30, 40% down before the recovery. So the good thing about them is the further you can get away from the target, boom, to recover. It's just an apex wedge approach. And there's a lot of different approaches to targeting. This is one I just want to cover. So in terms of this upside target, yes, this is indicated. Now, we're dealing with wedges that fail. Okay, the reverse of this process is also going to be true for an ascending wedge. All right, an ascending wedge. Now, how do I determine if an ascending wedge fails? Just to discuss, guys. How do we discuss if an ascending wedge fails? Well, an ascending wedge is supposed to be a bearish pattern, right? It's supposed to break to the downside. Generally, descending wedges are going to want to break to the upside, right? They're supposed to be bullish. An ascending wedge is going to want to break. It's supposed to, guys. It's supposed to generally break to the downside. So if an ascending wedge breaks to the upside, I'm going to consider that a failure. All right. I want a descending to operate up. I want an ascending to operate down. Okay. Now, to the extent that the descending operates and falls out of the descending, well, I've got an upside target, so that's beautiful. So to say I want this to operate right to the downside, I'm happy if it wants to traject to the upside to provide me with a target to the downside. I can short, right? Descending wedge, I'm happy if it breaks to the upside. However, if it can pour out down below, I'm happy to target the upside. So let's look at this ascending wedge on the right-hand side real quickly. This is just some VIP time here, guys. Just going through some VIP, just making sure people are kind of caught up. And we have some additional information to go over, but I want to cover this for you guys. Okay, descending. Okay, if we have let's say coming from the upside down, we have an ascending wedge here, right? We have an ascending line of support, ascending line of resistance, constricting, and an ascending peak. Now, this would be constituted as a failure. I say it'd be successful if the shorts involved, if short people are going to short this, they're involved in this, they expect it to traject to the downside. That's a successful ascending wedge. It operated as it should have within the expectations that it should break to the downside. Now, in terms of the specific failure of an ascending wedge, right, you need to think about this. It's supposed to break to the downside, right? So a failure of an ascending wedge is one that trajects to the upside. Okay, that's a failure of this pattern because it's supposed to break down. Descending is supposed to break up. When it breaks down, I want to recapture the apex. Ascending is supposed to break down. When it fails and breaks to the upside and surprises the market, what's my target? Bam, right there. Okay, so. And just be aware of the fact when these things get aggressive, when wedges get aggressive, you may have a wedge stacked upon another wedge, right? A rising wedge on top of a rising wedge. I'll tell you, you can get in a position where you honestly believe there is no way you're going to recover your target. I'll tell you that. And it just feels like, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're involved in the trade and you're trying to get back to kind of home base and you're like, man, but I just shorted this, you'll wind up with something like this. I'll tell you guys, you'll wind up with something like this that is really super aggressive. And shout out to all the VIP. We're going through some details on wedges right now, okay? So we're going through targeting. We know BTC's doing well, trading it in the back. Okay, so we'll wind up with something that looks like this in terms of a wedge. Then we'll wind up with something even more aggressive that starts to look like this. And you'll be looking at your target down here. You'll be saying, there's no way we're heading back down there. You'll be literally up above a secondary wedge like this. And you'll be targeting this wedge here. And you'll be like, please give me at least one of these two. And you'll find, guys, on a lot of these, you'll find a real aggressive wedge structure somehow, some way. You'll watch this thing pour down. You'll hit your first target here, boom, and then it may do whatever it may do, and you'll find, yep, bam, you're going to hit right back into your target. So It doesn't mean it's easy to trade. It just means that it's a targeting technique that we've had some success with, and I wanted to share that with you guys since we're chatting in the back. And yeah, I have stuff to talk to VIP about. That's part of it. I'd say a secondary line is futures, right, to make sure people are squared away on futures. That specific strategy I just went over is really crucial, guys. Really important in terms of understanding that. And to the extent that I just went over it too quickly, just let it sit for a bit, okay? Just let that sit for a little while. In terms of this upside wedge to the bottom, and you can hunt on different time frames. I'll tell you, like on the hourly, we have this descending wedge here on the top side. Okay, so to the extent that you can hunt on a different time frame, that's fine. Find a wedge on any time frame and hit yourself a target. It needs to comply with let's say support, resistance, support. Would really like this to get up, I'll tell you, in terms of an additional hit along resistance, right? We have 1 and 2. I'll say we do have the 1, 2, and then we have 1 and 2. Anytime we just glide back down into and don't have a secondary hit on resistance, or we just glide along this resistance and we don't have a secondary hit on support, I'm concerned. I always want 2 hits, okay, on support and on resistance on any wedge, whether it be descending or ascending. Remember, the descending, we want it to break to the upside, okay? Just typically in the market, like you could hang out in a long, right? You could hang out in a spot or a long position, betting on it going up, right? And if it goes down, it fails, right? On any rising wedge, you should be able to. I mean, the generalities are, right? As we would look at this, the generalities are, well, if we're in a rising wedge like this, I mean, I could short this. It's supposed to be a bearish pattern, right? So to the extent that your rising wedge completes boom to the upside and surprises the shorts, it's like, man, how was your trade? It failed, right? The expectations are boom to the downside. If it were to surprise to the upside, then it's a failure of a pattern, okay? So, and that's when we would have, if we had gotten up and over this rising wedge, said, hey, we got a downside target, okay? Now, we still have this upside target here. I just tell you, we do. And the extent to which these become abandoned is, I'm going to say at your own discretion within I don't want you guys going too heavy, either close or further away from these wedges at the bottom line. Be prepared for the surprises in the market. For me to say a circumstance like Luna occurred and we're still going to recover this, no problem. Yeah, things happen even on a political or kind of a socioeconomic, whatever it may be, context. Yeah, I mean, come on. At some point, I'm like, well, of course, this should recover to the upside. It's like, well, man, you just had an additional 10 billion plus taken out of Tether after the Luna, after the, there's some issues going on right now. So to the extent that it's going to be an immediate, easy recovery, I don't like the terminology trade at your own risk, but I use that terminology when dealing with Bitcoin because people who trade Bitcoin understand it's like, nah, you got to trade Bitcoin. He's not telling you, we don't know the answer. It's just, the best thing I can tell you guys in terms of targeting is the further away, the better it is, period. It won't feel like it, but the further away you are from your target, the better it is. And also if your whatever your componentry is, your equation to beat the market, your advantage in the market is an 8 or 9 out of 10. Man, I like to trade this. I get 8 or 9 out of 10 of these. I'm smashing them through the roof. They're going really well. What becomes inevitable from the 8 or 9 out of 10? That 2 or 1 out of 10, period, guys. And it's the guys who were given, a lot of times, right? And we've been about heavy cash reserves for a long time. You guys, you understand this. Yo, Kent Gifford in the house. My man, what's up? Kent. Yo, good to see you, my man. What's up, Luke? I just saw you guys on the side rail here. It's nice to see you, Kent. What's up, brother? I sent you a text or something like that a couple days ago. I hope you're doing well. We got a lot of stuff going on in the back. Would love to have you back in VIP. I know you got busy with NFTs and some different things and some of your artwork that you're doing. I hope that's going well in Cali, big guy. Hope everything's going real well. Yeah, and Luke in the house, my man. What's going on, Luke? Hope you're doing well. But Kent, just hammer back in, brother. No worries. We'd welcome you back like tonight. I'll put you in the back tonight, bro. We'd appreciate having you back. It'd be a big deal for us. You're a good dude. And Let me see what we got. Let me get in the chats and say what's up to Luke. And so, yeah, in terms of that targeting technique, what becomes inevitable? And it's sometimes the guys that get hurt the worst are the guys that have the automatic. It's like, man, I got an automatic 9 out of 10. It's almost 95 out of 10. And you've been in the hospital for 4 months. We got to talk about that, brother, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And you got to give us an update on everything. Let us know how things are going. But she's doing good now. Amen. That's awesome, brother. Good. That's a big deal. Kent, yeah, we need to know. We need an update, huh? We need an update, without a doubt. That's good to have you here. I'm going to show you Luke. Shout out. And Luke, Kent. Kent used to be VIP, had a little bit of a health scare in the family. And Kent, we're just glad to hear from you again. Just give us the update, please. We want to know what's going on. We maintain relationships, guys, with a lot of guys, VIP, etc. Things happen in life. We understand. Trading comes kind of second to family health, etc. And yeah, it can't. We've been praying, and everything hopefully is great. Just let us know. Please give us some additional news. I remember that situation very distinctly. And in terms of that, I had no idea, to tell you the truth, that it had been going on for an entire 4 months now. I have to say that you haven't been keeping in touch with me, guy. So you got to be keeping better touch with me. Thanks for stopping in right now. That's a big deal that you would stop in right now. It says a lot. Thank you very much for that. It says a lot, brother. Thank you. We want to know what's going on. I got your cell phone. You got mine. Hit me up on cell as well. And anytime, anytime, bro. Back to technicals just a bit here while I chit-chat with talk with Kent Gifford. And that's a big deal. He's here. That's a cool deal. In terms of and Ken, I sent you a text like a week ago, maybe a few days ago, maybe a week and a few days ago as well. Check on that. Make sure that if you have new digits, let me know. I'm going to put that in the deal here, so I'll make sure I get same phone number. Got to make sure. And guys, VIP, we chit-chat when we need to. Whatever it is, we'll talk on the phone. We'll do what we need to. Kent's old VIP had a health scare in the family. I think with the newborn. So, yeah, we're really excited to hear from you. I'm kind of anticipating what's the what we got. My baby girl, 2 months premature, major surgeries, open heart surgery next month. Oh, open heart surgery next month. Oh, wow. Okay, Kent. Man, well, I know some children who've had open heart, just so that you know, and they're doing just fine. They're 18 and 19 years old, running around, causing more trouble than you can imagine. So just so that you know, I know some very well that as a young child had open heart, and they're doing extremely well. So I hope that gives you some assurance. I'm just going to put going to be great. I'm just so glad to hear, 2 months old. And just how awesome, huh? Man, you got to know that little baby good, huh? Without a doubt, huh? A lot of special care and attention went to that child. Got a little VIP baby in the house. What's up? Very cool, huh? Very cool, Kent. Congratulations. I got to say congratulations. She's good. She's a fighter. I got to, praying for the baby, Kent, says Luke, etc. And we just got to say congrats. I just got to say congrats on the baby, period. That's just awesome. Luke, thanks for shouting out to Kent. You guys know each other. Yeah, Kent's been around for a while. He's a cool dude from Cali. You're welcome, brother. And, man, if you have any extra time, we'd love for you to spend your extra time with us. Just chill. We mean that, not trying to be jealous. We like hanging out with you. You're a cool dude. So, if you want to rejoin VIP, whatever you want to do, that's we'll go ahead and be selfish and tell you should do it. Because I know you're busy with your family, but come on, you got some spare time, right? It's like the guys who want you to chill with them. Come on, man, what's up? You got some time for us, huh? You got to keep us updated, everything, So we look forward to having you back in the crew, possibly. We know you're busy as well, though. We completely understand that. Maybe more so than anybody. In terms of the VIPs, we'll completely understand that. Yeah, we'll talk soon. That's good. Very, very good. That sounds like a winner, brother. And I'm around. So this is awesome to hear. Great news. I'm gonna take that all as great news. And the surgery, it's gonna go off like a piece of cake, brother. It's gonna be no problem. Just rest assured, it's gonna be good. You're gonna be fine. baby's going to be fine. What's her? We got to ask what is her name? That's a big deal. Her name. But let's see what we got in terms of her name. So yeah, talking about technicals, Kent had a baby premature, et cetera, all this different stuff. So we're kind of plugged into that as well. Clearly, Kent isn't old, VIP, and we're just excited about that kind of news. He's broken that news to us. It's been a while since we've heard from him because he's been in the hospital with his wife and the newborn. So that's a big deal. So back to technicals a little bit for everyone else who is, and Kent will catch up on the phone ASAP, brother. Looking at this descending wedge, let's get back to a descending wedge. Like life matters, doesn't it? Like without a doubt. I'm glad I came live. I just decided here. Ariana, cool name. Bless her. That's awesome. Her name is Ariana. Welcome, Ariana, to VIP. That is so cool. Congratulations, you have a really cool dad, and I'm sure you have a fantastic mother as well. And we will borrow your dad for a little while when he wants to trade. He'll be in the back with VIP, without a doubt. So, Ariana, welcome, and good luck with all those health issues. It's not going to be a big deal at all. The doctor's going to be number one, top rate, and you're going to get taken care of. We're sure of it. Just sure of it. We'll be praying for you. Ariana, big shout out to you and to the Gifford family, without a doubt. And so, Kent, what we were talking about, a technical, just a little bit, trying to get back on course here so we can create some relevance here on the screen of what we're looking at. And thanks so much for all the information. Again, Ariana is in a lot of prayers right now with VIP. That's a big deal. Little premature baby. She's fighting and she's trying to make it, and she's going to make it. She's going to be just fine. In terms of falling wedge break to the upside here. You're falling wedge. Come on, dude. Yeah, okay. So back to a falling wedge here. Kent, because I know you're busy and you came here to figure out. It's like, okay, you got to update us, but you also want to know something about trading. Come on, man. Kent, former alpha in the card. So I know he's listening to trading. He wants to know about trading too. Thanks for the update, though. Thanks for taking our time. I don't think we're taking yours, but looking at this level of resistance, level of support, this is broken to the upside. Okay, so this descending wedge back to the mainframe here has not failed. It's broken out to the upside, right? Copy that. So the failed pattern is above on the hourly, right? This failed pattern on the hourly, level of support, level of resistance, that makes this a target for me. Boom, this specific level. I want to see price recover to that target. Now understand, again, let's recover back into the daily. And this is on Bitcoin. All on Bitcoin, guys. Since Luna, etc. Yeah, thank you all. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kim. Level of support, resistance. What we're looking at is this specific apex here after the $65,000 drawdown, right? And yeah, after that specific failure of the descending wedge, see the failure? Bam. Right? That's a failure of the wedge. We recover to apex. That's the notion. That's our goal, is to recover to the apex. Looking at this lower time frame, we have the descending that broke to that downside, right? That made it a failure of a pattern, okay? On the 30-minute here, on the current price, level of support, level of resistance, we've broken, bam, to the upside here. Counting this pivot, and this pivot. 1, 2, 3. And this 1, 2, and 3, boom, we've broken to the upside. This is a successful pattern, okay? So we don't target the apex here. Here we'd like to get up and out. We'd like to continue to the upside, right? Now, on this preceding level here, okay, so that was the comparative, okay? And just to remind ourselves, just one more look at this so that we understand. Descending wedge, supposed to break to the upside, right? Supposed to traject to the upside. Now, we do know, guys, that I think the arrow may be, I'm not showing the cursor on there. Never mind. I have an option. I need to change a feature on Streamlabs. I will get to that soon. Okay. In terms of I just realized I don't have a cursor or the arrow. You don't see those on the screen. You just see the crosshairs. That makes it difficult when I'm talking about things. Okay. Level of resistance, level of support. I'll change that feature on Streamlabs. Resistance support. Descending wedge, 65,000, should have trajected up. It broke down to the downside. Failure of a descending wedge. So we target the apex. Boom, for a recovery. Okay? Now, back into the 5-minute time frame. Let's go to the 5-minute on the current price action. So descending breaks up, okay? Is a constriction between the level of support and narrowing level of resistance, like a just like a coil. Boom. What's the spring to the upside, right? Now this descending wedge here broke to the upside. Boom. That's a successful wedge. That one did not fail, okay? That's in the context support, resistance, okay? So to the extent, though, that we have this other dynamic of this internalized descending wedge on the hourly, just to cover it again, this one did pour down, boom, to the downside. So any failure of a wedge, okay, that means descending wedge going down, or that means ascending wedge going up, right? Because an ascending wedge is typically supposed to be bearish. Everybody's got this now, right? The ascending wedge is supposed to do exactly what this one did here. This one didn't fail. It just didn't fail at all. This one succeeded. Okay, this succeeded in I say just conforming to the market expectations of the traders, which is going to be failure to the downside. It's a bearish pattern, right? So we would only, again, target the ascending wedge, the peak, if, and I'm looking for direction on price. That's it. I'm trying to find direction on price. From what level, the further we can get away from this target, let's say to the upside, the better for me. Honestly, guys, the worse it feels, and the better it is in terms of potential profitability. So yes, this descending wedge that failed to the downside, you just saw this on the daily. Boom, strong recoup to the apex. You guys saw that. You could literally, if you had a 1,000-acre ranch or a 10,000-acre ranch, you could bet the ranch and lose it from the wrong level recouping. I promise. If you got into leverage at the wrong level, recoup into a specific, I'd say upside target. If you went too heavily on leverage, etc., yes, you could lose the ranch. Okay, so you have to stay conservatively. Really, you have to stay aggressively. Let's say this: you have to stay aggressively aware of the risks that are presented to you by any targeting strategy. First of all, okay, period. And just second of all, as you would include leverage, understand the following: that higher leverage is going to include lower capital requirements. Period. Okay. Higher leverage equals lower capital requirements. If you stick with that equation, you should be fine, okay? And what I like about that equation is because it allows you to have much lower leverage and have higher capital involvement, okay? If you choose lower leverage and higher capital involvement, I'm not worried about that at all, particularly with the fact that you're always going to be structured mentally with heavy cash reserves. You just are. So, we get to the point on an upside target like this, and normally I'll tell VIP you got a decision to make. Anything within, within $100, guys, within 80, 90, $100, you get to the point where you have a decision to make, right? You may get very close to, I'd say, achieving a target like this on a candle wick and not an actual line. You'll know if you're targeting something to the upside, which we frequently do, guys. I think we're the only real group that does this, anything like this frequently, guys. It's a good thing in terms of the traders in the back. You guys are doing well. For Freddie, shout out. Freddie just hammered through 125% trade today. I'm going to find that and feature that probably in a solo video for you, Freddie. Good job. Way to go, my man. Hopefully this technique, I'd say this technique review is helpful to everybody right now. Okay, so what I'll say is, to the extent that you're close, to the extent that we outperform, this where it gets up, it becomes up to you guys. If we can designate a directional pattern, right, to achieve in terms of our directional target to achieve, it becomes I'm gonna leave that on you guys in terms of your profits. When your screen turns green, man, hit the button. When the screen turns green, hit the button, guys. When you're in the green, when you got the money going, hit the button. And Kent, I'm excited about talking with you about futures, some different things that we'll get into in terms of leverage, maximizing your exposure, your capital exposure in the market. I think we'll have a good discussion. I think you'll look forward to that. And again, hit that button. Join back with VIP would be a good thing. Now, I have another discussion to be had in terms of extensions. Okay, you see these kind of yellowish brown colors, the extensions here to the downside and to the upside. Okay, that's a separate discussion that I think is is worth definitely worth having. But I want to make sure, I don't know, I want to make sure everybody's fresh for it. I want to make sure it's that we're yeah, I don't know, that we may do a separate session on that. We may do a separate session on that, and I want to make sure that I don't give you too much in terms of the targeting, the wedges. So downward wedge, spring to the upside. Upward wedge should fall out, okay? And a failure would be rising wedge, boom, to the upside, right? That's a failure. Bears want that to go down, right? Seriously, bears are parked in the short, man. Tell them it's not a failure, right? A descending wedge, well, that's bullish. Huh? All the bulls sitting there ready for it to traject to the upside. Boom, it pours to the downside. That's a failure, right? So we'll stick with those two key considerations tonight. We'll do that just tonight. I'll go over maybe some of the extensions, and we'll do something like that. And Anthony, got a shout out to you, brother. Big shout out to you and Freddie and Jubal, everybody in the back. We were just chit chatting. I'm like, we got to come live, and it good we did, huh? Kent showed up like, hey, my baby girl is around. Isn't that nice, huh? Ariana is around. That's really cool, huh? It's a cool thing, huh? Got a good group, and yeah, Kent, we're not kidding. We want you back in it, back in the back, my man. And I'm sure you got a lot going on with life and otherwise right now, my man. Big time. I'm sure a lot is pulling you in different directions. So looking at this framework, let's look at what we have. What have we developed technically? Okay, we sprung up and out of this wedge. It was a surprise move by Bitcoin. It was a nice move, and nice eyes, Jubal. Thank you for. We were chit-chatting about something in the back, and Anthony, we're gonna have a talk, Anthony, hopefully this weekend about maybe futures and leverage. You'll probably see how you may not be so interested in all your altcoins anymore. I'm just going to say that. Hopefully you won't. That hopefully will be a good thing. So looking at the dynamics, we sprung up and out of this descending wedge on Bitcoin, up 1.8% today. Let's dig into the 1 minute and take a look at. This is going to be a good test, guys. This will be a real good test. If we can find, can I determine whether or not we have an ascending wedge here? Okay, ascending wedge here. Now this is going to be an interesting play. We had an ascending wedge. What did it do, guys? It trajected to the upside. That's a technical failure. Okay, technical failure. Now I'd like this to recover. This is going to be kind of the detail here. I would like this to recover. All right, I'd like this to recover to, and this will put a little bit of a different tune onto things. Let me see how, if I really have to draw this out perfectly. I may go through some different time frames to see how this is structured out, because it's really close. It's just really close. This is going to be a difficult wedge. I don't mind talking about it, but in terms of this, I'm still looking for a hit. It's just close, guys. This is going to push the parameters of the targeting technique to something that probably is going to achieve an additional level of testing at some point. Right? If this specific, and this is going to be the question, if this specific rising wedge trajected, boom, to the upside, are we going to require the apex to be hit? First of all, we're within threshold here, okay? We're very close within this. It's almost hit it. You would say, well, I hit it in this area. I want to hit the peak, or I want to, just so that you guys know, I want to hit the apex. And I don't care about this. Let it get up over here. That's fine. I want to hit the apex, or I want to break this line of support, okay? Those are my goals. I want to hit the apex, or I want to break this line of support. If I don't break this line of support, okay, then I want to hit the apex, bottom line, period. Let it do whatever in the world it wants to up above. I want to either want to break this line of support, meaning you get back down here, you get through this line of support, or else I'm going to consider you a failure, this pattern to be a failure. Okay, you're either going to break the line of support, or I want you to hit this apex level wherever that is going to be. Now, it's a great demonstration here to discuss. It's up, it's out, it's almost back to this level of the apex. However, it didn't break the line of support, period. Right? I want it to break the line of support. It needs to do what it's supposed to do in the market, or I'm going to target you at that apex level. Boom. Cool. In terms of this upside, a little bit interesting in terms of the formation. Now, playing bullish patterns up and over a rising wedge can be difficult, okay? It can be difficult. This looks like a monster kind of pattern that's wanting to demonstrate itself in the form of an ascending triangle, right? Ascending triangles print money. They can do it in the right context. They could be extremely favorable patterns to trade. You guys know that. That's my that's my, what do I call it? Just a sales technique on an ascending triangle. Doesn't need any sales technique. It doesn't need anything other than the truth. It just, when they're on, they're on. Okay, now I'm going to maintain this as a downside target. Again, just remember, once you get up and over that level of resistance on an ascending, right, this is supposed to break down, man. This is a bearish pattern. So bam, once it fails, meaning boom, it's to the upside. The bears are left to dry, right? Left out to dry. I'm gonna mark this apex, bam. Okay, just important. Just work with this pattern dynamic and watch the amount of patience that it requires. Watch the amount of I'll say the number. Let's say watch the number of targets that are not achieved, because there will be a number of targets that are not achieved. You start keeping count with me as you trade how many of them are not achieved. But I think that you're going to be impressed overall, but you'll still be very challenged. Okay, you'll still be very challenged in terms of the entirety of this specific framework. And it's just, you can't miss the framework, guys, from the preceding from the $65,000 all-time high, right? Or preceding all-time high, from the 69 to the 65 preceding, right? Preceding all-time high. What we're going to say is, you can't miss the dynamic there, the falling wedge, the recoup to apex, right? You can't miss the fact we just, danced on back up through that apex. We hit that target. It plays frequently. However, understand, guys, this took, how long did that take? 85 days. You gonna sit there for 85 days while this thing is pouring down through here and say, well, it's just my upside target, no problem. Yes, it's not that easy. When it takes a few days, when it takes several days, several weeks, whatever it takes, guys, you're gonna find it may take a while, guys. And some targets yet still on, I'd like to say on the micro may be and forever remain just targets that were never achieved. Okay, so looks like the futures right now are recovering nicely. NASDAQ futures doing well. It looks like BTC kind of spearheaded that mission in terms of the recovery. That's just the futures, guys. And then I talk about NASDAQ futures, Dow, S&P futures. They've all turned green. That's a good thing. Okay, as we're correlated with the equities markets now. So seeing that roll back to green was good, because we were pretty red for a while here, as we had just started up the crypto day. So I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, I'm glad that we went over the wedge technique. For anybody who is not VIP, you're welcome to join VIP. It's very important that we go over these types of targeting techniques, guys. It can make or break your trade, your ability to trade. I'm going to tell you guys, if you can get directional at all with things, right? If you can start looking at an upside target or a downside target to ultimately achieve, it changes the trade dynamics, guys. It completely, you have some direction on the charts, right? And that's it's just for the guys in the back. I know Jubal, you'll agree with this. It's night and day having really having a any kind of a direction in the market, even if it's, even if you're contemplating, I'll tell you, even if you're contemplating like abandoning a target, like, well, I got to say, this upside target here on the hourly, I understand that's an upside target, right? As we look at this, I understand that's an upside target, but maybe you feel like I just don't know that we can get there. Just the fact that you're looking to the upside target, just the fact that you're literally focusing on that, literally as a go-to point, whether or not you're at the 50% retracement or the golden pocket or the 76 or the 86, wherever you're at, just the fact that you're still directionally looking and focused on price moving to a specific point is hugely important in terms of your frame of mind, guys, in terms of how you're operating in the market. I said yesterday, the one of the key details in, as you approach your targeting technique in the market is that you need appropriate distance between you and the target. Okay, that could be counterintuitive. You may find a descending wedge, you find the apex immediately. When we're out of here, you're ready to get in. You're ready to get involved. It's like, I know that I believe we're going to head back up to this apex, right? You're ready to get involved. You need to understand you need to achieve sufficient space between the targets here, if we were to fail this descending wedge, okay, if we were to fail this, okay, in terms of this descending line of support, descending line of resistance, constricting in a descending apex, if we were to fail this pattern, boom, to the downside, immediately, you know, upon failure, I've got a target. Okay, it's very important that you understand and you have the patience to understand, guys, to watch this out on the hourly. You need more distance between your entry in the market and your target. You need the distance between your entry and the target so that you can profit, okay? You may feel like, well, I got to get this quickly. No. You need distance between the target, okay, and your entry in the market, period, on the daily. And this is where things can become difficult. This is where risk can enter the equation. Level of support, level of resistance, the preceding, the $65,000 zone. Looking at this, you need distance, okay, level of, and I'll say support resistance here. I need to get the crosshair back up because you guys can't see much of my mouse. It helps on the big screen TV. I know you guys can. But level of support resistance, you need distance away from your target, right, to make your target profitable. And the longer you spend away from your target as you're simply merely targeting, the question becomes, well, is this an efficient use of my capital? This is the other issue that you're going to come up with, guys. Is this an efficient use of my capital? It's been out here for 85 to 90 days, almost 3 months we've been down. Is this a good use of my capital right now? You'll have some of these considerations to contend with as we look at a potential, just look at a fractal, small descending wedge here in this zone on the right, a descending wedge here in this zone on the left. This is on the macro, on the daily. Recovery, boom, to the upside. Can we get the recovery, bam, to the upside? And now we had the Chinese fallout in this zone. We had Tesla testing liquidity, Chinese fallout in this zone, right? Here we had the Luna Terra crash, right? Boom. And we have equities. We have NASDAQ, etc., that are kind of pouring on the heat as well. So we got the overall equities and Luna capitulation here. Now, this is much more on a micro scale, but just to put it in context, it would be a slight recovery. So in terms of, I'd say the surrounding events, you can just take note of the extent to which you guys choose to. If you choose to purely go technically on the market, I won't argue with you at all. That's no problem. You may just want to say, okay, fine. Failed descending wedge, target to the upside, boom. Failed ascending wedge, right? If I were to go up, great. We targeted the apex. Just keep those in mind. I just think I've hit that through the headset enough that you guys understand the risk equation. Find one. This will be the challenge, guys. This will be the challenge. Before you guys get too skeptical or you get too confident, find one for me that doesn't work. That's the first goal. If you want to challenge this, find one that doesn't work, okay? And see if you can bring that to me. And let's begin to talk about it. I want to know how many you found, why you find the one that doesn't work, how many you found that worked, okay? That don't need to necessarily get back to the apex exactly. I'm not worried about that, but to that target level. Boom, at some point, okay? So when you're finding the ones that didn't work, I want to know how many you found that worked, okay? And we've been doing this a lot in VIP, like a lot over the last few weeks. We still have some outlying targets. We just do. They may be abandoned, period. It's always an option. But again, I just like the directional focus that it gives us in the market. And I won't say irrespective of whether or not any of them are completed, because we've been completing them every day, guys. They've just been bam, bam, bam. But we still have some outlier targets, right? And I think right now I was going to tell this to, what do we have here? I think I was going to tell this to VIP earlier on. What do we got here? Hey, Masterminder, what's up, brother? Saying congratulations to Kent. Isn't that cool, Masterminder? Huh? He's got a beautiful baby girl. Very cool stuff, huh? And she's a little premature. She's a little baby. She's a few months old. We just pray for her. Hope everything's going well. It's a big deal. So, and Masterminder, nice to have you here, brother. I just emailed you, I think, a couple days ago. So, yes, you need to be far enough away for this move to count. If it recovers quickly to this specific and I'd say target level, that's fine. But then it ceases to be a target level for you in the future. But it's just, guys, as priceless as you may or may not be involved in VIP fully, guys. The guys in the back, we're constantly going over targets all day long. We're just, and it's literally, it's a game changer. We and the challenge is this, guys. In the back, we're going over these, and it's a challenge to keep them literally actively on your screen in your mind. You guys know this for 12 hours, right? It's like you get up and away in price and everything starts going great, and hey, we're moving and moving, and it's like, we still got this little bitty, it's not on this chart, but we said we still got this little bitty target down there, and it's just this little arrow that remains on the what should we call it, on the charts of mine, and it's like, then it'll be 8 hours later, like boom, we hit our target. It's a challenge, guys. It's always a challenge. I recommend that you guys mark your targets with an arrow. Just put an arrow on that and put a dotted line, and make sure that you guys can see that you can at least frame yourself directionally. I think it's really important in the market. Looking at a potential for an ascending triangle, we need to maintain. We had one of these earlier. I think we had one of these earlier in the day. Maybe this would be a good trade. A little bit dangerous trading up and over the top of an ascending wedge. You guys know that. Ascending wedge with this level of resistance rising and constricting with this level of support. A little bit dangerous. However, it's a big pattern. You guys have to admit that's a big monster ascending triangle. Literally, guys, that's relative to the let's say relative to the preceding kind of launch, I'd say launch formations there. It's a large pattern, right? Let's go ahead and go into the 5-minute and mark out again. And that's exactly what we were in, was the descending wedge. We had formulated that descending wedge. I'll just note that the actual Fibonacci retracements on the macro, guys, at least on like the on the entirety of this range, as we would get into like the 30-minute, the 5-minute, etc. Even, it's just the guys, the Fibonacci's have played really sloppily. You guys know that. It's just been really, it has not been precise. That's why I have the extensions here to the upside and to the downside. The upside would be indicative for shorts, the downside for your longs, okay? In terms of the upside for the shorts, the downside for your longs, okay? Long entries, short entries, right? Above price or below price, right? And to the extent that your classic, I say, approach for your extensions will provide you with some additional, guys. Your extensions will provide you with additional targets in between your Fibonacci's. You guys know this, okay? You got your Fibonacci's, easy stuff, right? Low to high, bam. We got your low to high on the, you go on this, go on the hourly, go on whichever time frame you want. 4 hourly, 30-minute, 5-minute, whatever it is. Low to high, go to that on the wicks, okay? But you need more targets, right? You need potentially more targets depending upon what's being formulated in terms of this specific formation, etc. You may want to operate in between that 50 and the 61.8, right? In comes the extensions, okay? The extension tool. Measuring, let's say here from the, we could just get in to some details on this. I don't want to overload, right? I don't really necessarily want to overload, but going from a preceding, let's say if we wanted to fill this up with targets here, if I would go from the, let's go from the preceding high to low, let's say to the high, okay? Just go from, if you want your targets to the downside, start and draw from the top down. You want them down, draw down. Click one, draw down. To the bottom, click back to the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then what are you going to get? You're going to get your targets to the downside. Okay, those are going to be interim targets that you can use, guys, in terms of structuring your trades into, period. And you'll just be able to, my hope is that you guys can work with this a little bit until you understand very clearly and very cleanly how to operate with extensions as kind of a filler for where you may want to target in between your macro Fibonacci's, okay? And I think that you'll find that definitely on the upside. We use those for targets. We use those for short entries as well. And I think that you guys will snap to that pretty quickly. And I know that a lot of you already are involved in that. I'd say the advanced. It's kind of an advanced use of your extensions, the Fibonacci extensions. So you guys are exposed to a lot of good stuff that's beyond the norm of just typical. This is not just typical like retail. Ain't no pump and dump here, guys. Ain't no super hype here. It's like we either got the trade tactics and the skills and strategy to be able to apply it in trade, or we don't. And that's where you guys really come through just like champs, because you can. And I appreciate that very much when you guys share everything you guys have, and hopefully this stuff is critical for you guys as you develop your trade game. And there's going to be more in 2022 as we continue to develop. This is just but one trade procedure. So looking at this holding, I say this level of support holding right above this rising wedge. And I said I wanted to put this into context because at times you'll find that any included, this would be one caveat. I'd say one, not a caveat, but an exception potentially. As we would look at any included, potentially included, we say target underneath a pre-existing level of resistance, right? Underneath any type of a formation, a level of resistance, that would be one thing I'd want you to look for. Did you establish a target within a level of resistance on a pattern that has been broken out of? Okay? Very important. Very important for me as I look for any potential patterns when we bury them inside, or targets, when we bury them inside of a pattern that's been broken out of, kind of raises a little bit of an alert, right? And hey, I got a shout out to VIP because you guys did this really well. This was really cool. We have to do this, guys. This is really cool stuff. Looking at the turnover on the day, did you guys remember that turnover on the day? We just pretty much nailed that turnover, didn't we? Did you guys see that? I think we really did. Boom. We have to find it. But look at this. Yeah, boom. We went yellow, right? Warning, right? Before the end of yesterday's trading session. And that was the VIP, just exclusive to VIP. That was a big deal. Looking at the, let me look at this. I just, let me make sure that I got this on the screen. There we go. So looking at that, guys, congratulations to the VIP, because that's what it's all about, right? You got it right. Boom. That was a nice drop, by the way, huh? Wasn't it? I mean, you guys have to agree that was a 2.13% drop. That was a nice kick to the downside. So shout out to the VIP in the back. When I tell you guys we want you in the back if you're not in VIP, I mean it, because like we're trading, like we're giving alerts, we're doing different stuff, and it's nice when it works. When we got a good group and they're booking trades, and not just it works like the warning of the alert, but just the whole when the whole thing is when we're cooking with gas, right? What I say, when you between your family, your work, your friends, everything you got going on in life, your wife, your kids, all that stuff, when everything just works, it's pretty cool, right? You stop off, you book some trades, you have a good time, and it's like, I'm sure all the signals are perfect all the time. We do not claim that, but I'll tell you that we've had it's been successful. This last week plus has been very impressive, guys. We had a good weekend full of a lot of profits, and I just like when we set off there's a 4-alarm fire and boom, she drops. It's good news. It's good news. I know VIP are making money. We get excited about that stuff. So let's see what we got. In terms of this ascending feature here, I don't know, guys. Who's long Bitcoin? Who is long Bitcoin? I don't know, guys, but I'm sure some of you guys are trading. A little bit of an imperfect top here. We would prefer to have a perfectly straight top. I go to the candle wicks just to demonstrate the fact that we have a bit of an angle here. A little bit of an angle. We're going to forgive that on the lines. I think that we can. Yeah, I think we can. It's close. It's going to be a little bit interesting along this area. She has made a nice recovery along this level of support. Let's see if BTC can rock and roll a little bit. That'd be nice. Let me take a look on the side screen at the futures and see where we're looking. Looks like they're recovering. NASDAQ future. I don't know, guys. Dang is all I got to say. Dow dropping more than March, almost as much since March 2020. That's a mean deal. Very mean deal. You guys know that. And looking for a breakout here to the upside, we'd measure the amplitude of this move. We would want to measure that, boom, to the upside here. And let's see if we can complete a move to, let's see here, about a 0.84% to the upside would be a nice move. You guys are trading on leverage. That's a nice move. Doesn't take much leverage to start feeling a little bit of a difference. I think you guys will find that, right? Even like what is that? 10x would be 8%. That's no problem. right? A 10x would be 8%. NASDAQ futures dipping down into the red just slightly, okay, just slightly into the red on those NASDAQ futures. But it looks like Bitcoin really was first out of the gate earlier tonight and continues to do well. A bit of a triangulation. We have to say this, guys. The 15-second and up looks like we have that ascending triangulation. But let's see where we're at on this. It's a very interesting pattern as we look at Bitcoin. Looks like we're up and out of this. It's got to be a. I mean, is it a pennant? Let's look at this, guys. It is close. Yeah, I'd say that's a bull pennant, right? With that resistance support, right? 1, 2. Look at this, guys. The resistance support. Here we go. Support, resistance support, up and out would be the ticket. So I will choose that over the ascending triangulation, though it seems like we have some differentiation there. I'm sure VIP have been trading. Freddie this morning booked, what was that, Freddie? A 100% plus a triple-digit trade. Very nice. I spent a lot of earlier on this stream just going over some essentials. Kent, Gifford, I'm glad that you were in the mix for a minute because you haven't been around. I know you've been in the hospital, et cetera, pardon me, and whatnot. So that's important that we could kind of connect like that. That's a good thing. And I sent you a text message. Everyone, prayers for Kent Gifford, his baby girl, just brand new to this world, premature a little bit, 2 months in the hospital. So that's important for us to kind of shout out and say hello to Ariana. And it looks like we're getting on the 5-second. Let's look at this 5-second. Let me take care of that line. In terms of this confirmation up over level of resistance, we want this confirmation. Boom, we need to move to the upside, right? Now we have two options on that move. Still maintaining a downside target included within that preceding, downside target included within that preceding framework of that formation. Noted, always noted, guys, in terms of that pre-existing descending wedge that we were looking at. So it looks like buyers have paused just a second along this top level of resistance, level of support. Okay, level of resistance is decreasing, level of support is increasing in a symmetrical fashion. Okay, that is the telltale sign of a bull pennant. Move to the upside, symmetrical consolidation. We'd like that consolidation to occur quickly, right? We'd like to get out and up and out, guys, very quickly. That's kind of the nature of a bull pennant. We want this to ricochet. Bam, resistance, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom. All right, let's get up and out. Now, we have a few measurement tactics that we can go through. One will always include that amplitude, right? The amplitude, preceding amplitude, okay? Let's say that, the flagpole. And let me undo that real quickly. This preceding amplitude here, as we would get into, I may need to hefty up this line a little bit. There we go. Preceding amplitude, move to the upside would be one measurement, okay? And I'll just say this, in terms of the feature from the level of support, looks like she's having a bit of trouble confirming or just taking her time. We need some momentum. We need a confirmation, okay, prior resistance to support. Then we need to receive some momentum, okay, for trade to engage. This level of support here, okay, the level of support on the symmetrical triangulation, okay, carried up in a parallel channel, period. That's an option for the traders on any specific bull pennant. Believe it or not, because it includes this specific symmetrical triangulation. Yes, it has a flagpole run up. Yes, that's ideally what we would like to achieve. But the traders, the market, the participants have an option at any point in time on this, okay, to achieve a parallel carry up of the level of support to resistance, okay, and to that, I'll say the top level hitch on the triangulation into the line of resistance. That would be the demarcation, the expectation of the traders, okay? So there, yes, I'll say this, as a matter of fact, yes, on a bull pennant, we would like to see this higher function at every point in time. Just don't be surprised if you get caught on a parallel channel carry up, period, okay? Just never be surprised. They happen frequently. So looking at the NASDAQ futures, Dow futures, everything's still up and doing well in the green. So I don't see a reason on that front for BTC to necessarily, I'd say, cool off. I don't see a reason for a cool off here. Bitcoin, what are you doing? We were up and out on the lower time frame, and now you want to pull back. She's been doing this not infrequently, to the extent that you guys will remember that. I think she did this. She decided to do this the other night, didn't she? She wanted to play. She wanted to play for a bit, right? She's just being Bitcoin. She'll when you turn your back for a second, she wants to launch. You guys know this. Shout out to Jubal in the back. I appreciate you bringing the conversation home in the back. Anthony and I were talking about some Luna or something he was buying, and it's like, Bitcoin decided to launch. And the more that you get involved in futures, you'll realize you don't need that the increased velocity or the increased momentum, etc., of the apparent momentum to the upside or downside of I'd say your altcoins. Although some of you may choose to continue to and Anthony, you had named a couple good ones in the back. So to the extent that you continue to do that, I just say I think you'll have a good time with Bitcoin once you figure out the futures, and we'll get you all geared up. You're going to like it a lot. It's going to be cool. You're going to have a good 2022 without a doubt. Just getting through futures in 2022. If you're new to the space, if you're used to it, then you should be dynamically ahead of the crowd. If it's something that's brand new to you, and just realize then that's an exciting thing to cover in 2022. If that's all you do in 2022 is, well, that was a big step forward in 2022. I started trading futures. Hey, beautiful, very nicely framed in terms of overall goals for 2022. I mean, some people want to kill it and join the market, and they want to. Honestly, guys, like, I got to make $1 million this month, man. Okay, you're gonna do that, huh? You and everybody else who starts get in the market. You just got to be patient with the market. But if I don't know. What if it took you 2 or 3 years to really get down futures to where you could just literally just knock it out of the park anytime you wanted to? Literally sit down and just bam. What if it took you 2 years, guys? You have to think about this. What if it took you 2 years to be able to sit down and just make money anytime you want to? Just boom. It's probably pretty competitive, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can do it, but it's not going to be easy. It will not be easy. Going to take a lot of strategy in the background, and as we look at this, say the failure of the lower time frames, right? This specifically indicated level of, and really looking at this. To the extent that we weren't fully symmetrical here, I'll note that for the record. I will note that for the record. We would prefer the symmetrical triangulation to be symmetrical between the level of resistance and the support. So I'll note that with the understanding that within a level of variability, yes, symmetrical triangulation we would be here. I guess that's why we started off with the ascending triangle framework, more of a flat top. Just see that. I'd say within conformance, I'd still like to see this perform. Bottom line, I'd still like to see BTC perform to the upside. To the extent that she stalled out in a flat zone here, let's just go ahead, and it looks a little cleaner in terms of that symmetrical triangulation on the lower time frames. To the extent that we have set a flat top on this lower time frame, that's we're getting into just splitting hairs here. It's really BTC really looks like she's just trying to maybe wash some shorts out. I'm not sure about that, or wash out some longs in terms of that top level over the resistance. To the extent that we're near a flat top, let's go to the candle wicks and see how close we are here. Okay, looks like we're building a second triangulation here, kind of needlessly, and that's a real messy confirmation. I'll just tell you guys that. And shout out to all the VIP. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. This is London with Bitcoin Spike, and we had a nice, let's see what we got. Hi, looks like, look at Luke, someone's at Luke's computer saying hi. That's nice. I wonder who that is, Luke. I wonder who that is. Let's see what we got here. So we're watching Bitcoin, nice price action. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hopefully getting some trades in, and we'll see what we have going on with a potential breakout, a secondary attempt of a breakout here on Bitcoin as NASDAQ futures turned around after a really gruesome day, and was excited to have given all the VIP a nice, was it an ascending wedge, right? You guys know that ascending wedge on that NASDAQ was a nice kind of precursor, if you guys will look at that. I brought that to you guys yesterday, and then we just hammered to the downside today. So to the extent that that was useful in preparation for you guys, I was glad to be able to have brought that to your attention, without a doubt. So we have a triangulation and a little bit of a complication with an ascending framework here. It's just Bitcoin's being Bitcoin. A little bit frustrating and slow. We appreciate more aggressive price action than this. The stall out. Here we go with the stall out. Level of resistance, level of support, symmetrical triangulation on those lower time frames. Definitely symmetrical triangulation. Now we've gone into an ascending triangle, a clear ascending triangle that has the flat top, right? The flat top ascending level of support. That's indicative of your ascending triangle. Amplitude, a little bit of a confusion here now with the amplitude move of the ascending triangle indicated here, whereas the amplitude of the entirety of the specific symmetrical triangulation, this is just risk, guys. This is what we would just call risk, okay? Different measurements, uncertainty in the market equals risk, okay? Amplitude move triangulation, also a possibility. Then we have the ideal, the amplitude of the preceding kind of flagpole up that we would embed and want to repeat to the upside. So we really have kind of a triple now context that the buyers are being forced to assess in the context of, I say, within this, with the understanding that we have just formulated another triangulation and variable here that was not. That was really unnecessary, right? We could have just maintained price up and above level of resistance, confirmed as support, boom, moved to the upside. Instead, we've tucked back in, formulated a separate pattern with a separate target. This is where things, this is where if you trade, you're kind of like, does it have to be this? Does it have to be this confusing? Does it have to be this complicated? It normally does not. I'll tell you, it normally does not have to be this complicated. So to the extent that BTC is a little complicated right now, hey, she likes to do this after she gets up and out very quickly, right? And we're Bitcoin spike. Jubal, I have to say, you caught that spike in the back. Anthony, I got to say, we did not catch the spike. We're talking about altcoins. Man, we got to get over the altcoins, man. I ain't going to be around in the next Luna. So lesson to you and me, Anthony. We focus on Bitcoin, and we'll get into those futures. You'll see how to book a 150% trade on that movement to the upside on what BTC just did that we didn't catch, and that says a lot for Bitcoin spike. This is Bitcoin spike, so man, we got to catch those. We got to work on catching those. The good news is we have the upside target. So to the extent that we say, well, we caught this, we didn't catch this, we didn't catch that, well, we've got the upside target, right? You've had this upside target for a period of time. So would that allow me to relax a little bit? Potentially, because we're always on that. And Anthony, like we've been around for a while. He was there in the summer 2021 where, like, we caught the absolute bottom. I was like, I caught this, boom, right here, right? If you have an upside target, it's a little bit smoother, right? We don't have to, I don't know, to the extent that we have a little bit of a relaxation, just knowing that, well, I've got this target up here. I need to catch it. No, I have the target. I have targets to the downside. Now I have a target to the upside. Can catch it. I do like to catch the spikes. I know it was like a 1% spike. It wasn't like some phenomenal move, but I still like to catch them. We like to catch those. It does help if we have that upside target. Watching this, I say the specific move in this area. Can we extend this up and over? Almost we can extend this up and over into on the 1 minute time frame. Let's go look at the 5 minute time frame, because this seems a little bit, there you go. We're contending with this notion on the 5 minute. That makes sense. On the 5 minute, we're contending with the ascending framework as leveled out from this level of flat top resistance. That's what's catching the market. Okay, because it seemed just like an ascending triangle on those lower time frames as well. First blush on the 1 minute and lower. So let's see what we got here. We still have this target below, assessing price action, flat top resistance. The candle wicks are demonstrating, we're demonstrating a triangulation, symmetrical on the lower time frames, and to the extent that we have this 5 minute to contend with now. That's a very clear ascending triangle. So come on, Bitcoin. Anybody got a button you can push? Put her into go mode. What do we got to do here? We got to. We're testing this specific. Let's see this specific. Which one is this? Is going to be EMA 50 on the 1 minute time frame. Exponential moving average, kind of that brownish yellow color underneath here. Exponential moving average, the 50, 25s in green, kind of wound up and through with the 100 below, and the 100 in red, and in blue, the 200. So, all right, Bitcoin. This is just how it is. We're hanging out in the back, we're chit-chatting, we're talking, and then boom, she goes to the upside. Then we stream, and we can sit on here for 18 hours. And for some reason, she's going to want to just sit here and push and this and that. She just does this sometimes. It is what it is. Luke, I have a feeling there's a youngster in the house who got in charge of your computer for a minute. If you guys are just tuning in right now, I want to let you guys know we went through a very good review earlier on in the stream about rising and falling wedges and targets. If you guys didn't catch that and you are VIP, watch it. Please watch that video. It's a big, big deal. Okay, I wouldn't say so otherwise. Okay, so let's see. Looking at the framework, we had a possible pattern. It just looks like we're, I don't know, are we heading down to our target now? That's going to be one of the things that you're going to start looking at when you see these targets. Okay, when we have a downside target and we have an upside target split, we'll get into some different, I'd say, different strategies in terms of those upside and downside targets, potentially even hedging. Okay, just hedge mode, something very simple on L Bank where we trade. And you guys know you can hit that from my profile. Go over and hit that L Bank link. Boom, $250. You can trade that 125x. I think you can have a $30,000 trade on Bitcoin if you want to, just free of charge. I'm not sure how you qualify for that. It's just $250, but yeah, 125x is pretty stout. Bitcoin broken. Submitting trouble ticket. Good for you. That's good, huh? We need that, huh? Customer complaint box. What the heck is this? As we look at this, we paid for a good ride. My children are not happy. What is this? This is just not good. What is it? NASDAQ futures doing just fine. So in terms of this, yeah, Bitcoin broken. Nice humor, Jabal VIP. Just he's hitting it. He's killing it in the back. We're having a great time. Trying to get through some fan formation. Some interesting stuff in terms of fan procedures. That fan reversal being different than the Fibonacci fan, I'd say that the fan tool, right? A lot of different fan tools we look at. And looking at they just had to do this, didn't it? I mean, come on, Bitcoin. She's like this, guys. She just will surprise you. The thing that wasn't a surprise here was the parallel pickup. If you guys look at this, the near. And I say this that she likes to do this a lot in terms of the near completion back down to the preceding level of support. Bitcoin just likes to do this a lot, guys. If you trade Bitcoin, she'll also, she'll surprise a little bit. She'll push down further, clearly here at times. She'll pick up a little bit early, right? Just don't be surprised within a framework when you see that she's picking up at a preceding level of support. She just does, right? And now, this is an interesting dynamic. Yeah, she picks up at a preceding level of support in this zone. We could go to Fibonacci's to the extent that we need to. It's just not an ideal. As we look at this, it's not an ideal. It's not an ideal pattern. Let's take a look at this in terms of the really the framework needs to come all the way to the top. So from the low to the high on just the preceding intermittent range function here, back down to that 50%. But people didn't show up to trade a 50% retracement. They showed up to trade an ascending triangle. So to the extent that you caught this move here, congratulations. Anyone who was long to her upside target is definitely in the money from that lower level. And if you caught into the 50, you may have been waiting for the golden pocket. This was the one thing, right? You guys know this golden pocket here on this range of the, let's say, 30-minute, hourly, 4-hourly, daily, etc. in this zone. It's just the golden pocket is just like indicated. We have breached the 50% clearly. All right, we've breached that 50%. We want to get down to the golden pocket. It's just not giving the traders what the traders want. Just not. Preceding pickup in this zone, 30-minute, yeah, I'd say indicated, right? See a nice little double bottom formation here. Double bottom formation here. That's one of the, I'd say one of the indicators we could use in terms of forecasting the degree to which we'll see movement in an opposite direction. how big is in terms of I'd say the amplitude of a double top, for instance, instead of a double bottom, the amplitude and the breadth of the double bottom, okay, is going to be crucial. Is it on a key Fibonacci? Also I'd say in context, key Fibonacci, key support order level include RSI, maybe MACD on that discussion. Yeah, I'd say maybe MACD, without a doubt on that discussion, depending upon where she is on your technical indicators, etc. So, but one of those things, one of those factors and facets is just what is the nature or degree of the double bottom or double top that you may have formed. Put those into context. Use your comparatives across the way. The ones that don't make sense, look at your indicators. When we see a nice pickup like this, it is technically a double bottom. It's also within the construct of a pattern formation. So something when you say it is broken, Bitcoin broken, submitting a trouble ticket, somebody clicked something on today to get this up and out, right? It's just everything just activated without a doubt. We were just looking at I was just looking at the Asian markets and was reading some bad news about the Asian markets when everything just took off to the upside. Asian stock markets sell off. Hong Kong, Hang Seng down nearly 3%, and Tencent shares plunge more. Okay, so there's some pressure over in Asia right now. Dow had its worst day since 2020. That's notable, guys. That's a big day down for the Dow. Looking at the correlatives between BTC and equities, we got to talk about it, don't we? We don't necessarily want to, but we just kind of have to talk about it. Is what it is, right? So. I still won't, for the life of me, understand why all of a sudden BTC is just another tech stock or whatever, guys. It's an individual asset. I understand the fact that it's traded. It's like, I guess the big guys got a hold of it, and now it's just like anything else. I mean, come on. The good thing that we have is that it trades 24/7, 365, weekends included. So we're good to go there, right? We might design something like it to. Even just be able to trade the correlatives of the equities market. We literally might. It's a nice kind of correlative if we're going to have one. Though there's a little bit of differentiation. We've noticed a little bit of a front running. Like tonight was important that BTC kind of front ran the recovery in the futures, at least, of the market, so of the equities. So looking at a failure here, not exactly what we wanted to see, and people are just going to be reminded of our entire talk this time in terms of our target to the downside. Willing to trade the pattern to the upside. And for the guys at VIP in the back, it's just like, man, if we see one more arrow and this price come down to the arrow wherever this price line is, that's enough. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys, if we're in a bullish pattern up and above, we want it. We want that to work. It's not my intention to immediately, even now, guys, to immediately hit our target. It just is a target. So to the extent that it is, to the extent that that's in the framework in terms of just the rising wedge noted by the traders, just understand that is an indicated level. As we look at like that 15-second, let's look at that 15-second with that rising wedge. It's just the apex of the rising wedge. We got close here. We really got close in this zone here, right, to recompleting that apex. But we just trajected up and out of a very bearish, typically a bearish pattern. So we target that apex, right? To the extent that you've targeted it once and you had some success at that level, that's great. You didn't quite get it. To the extent that it won't be achieved, that's also fine. But when I see it nearly get achieved, I have to kind of take a look at it, and it just is what it is. It's just we see more of those complete than not, without a doubt. So the ascending triangle, like, what happened? Like Jubal said, this is broken. We need a help ticket for Bitcoin, right? To the extent that we're looking at like a really extended, like, what's the fix on this with the pattern? Like, we got to stay reasonable. We're just going to have a really extended ascending triangulation now. Potentially. You're on a golden pocket hit from this low to the high on the candle wicks, and you got to kind of take good for what good's worth, right? Some days Bitcoin's going to be great to you, and other days she's not going to be good to you. If this is one of the days she's not going to be good to you, make sure you focus. Make sure you focus on discipline and consistency. Okay? All jokes aside, discipline and consistency. That's it. If you're having a good day or having a bad day. Discipline and consistency. When you get worked up and you have some of the best trades of your life and you decide to start really hammering and continue on the high, right? Maintain discipline. Maintain consistency. Without a doubt, guys. That'll get you where you want to go in the market. And that's not just me talking. That's a lot of big-time pros in and around New York. That's just that's word on the street. I think you guys know that. New York Institute of Finance, etc. Discipline and consistency. And in terms of downside target, we got it. I'd like to see some additional pattern formation. Guys, it was a good stream. I wanted to come and just talk through things since Anthony was here. Kent, it was good to see you. Jabal, thanks for the interaction. Master Miner, good to see you, brother. We'd like to see you in VIP. We got a lot of targets going on all day long in the back with VIP. And yeah, just make sure you hey, come on, Kent. We got the back. It's good with the targets, but you're fine where you want to be. If you want to be in the base camp, that's fine. You know, you write me an email, and we'll figure something out. You guys are good guys. I appreciate everything. Let's get in the back and let's trade. It's only what? We got Jubal in Alaska. You guys know this. Jubal's in Alaska, right? So he's got like sunshine, maybe like all day long, all night long. I don't know, Jubal. You might be in the whatever, hemispheric kind of condition. But your time frame is so accelerated. It'll be like 4 in the morning, I'm sure, wherever we are in the U.S. And Jubal is like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He's chilling with a Bud Light or doing something like that. You guys aren't going to bed, are you? And it's like, Jubal, dude, like you're in Alaska, bro. So we have fun. He's a good guy. He's a good trader. And all you guys are. It's a pleasure to be in a group with you. I wanted to come live because we had good activity in the back, and it was a blessing to hear from Kent. Kent, we appreciate you shouting out and giving us the heads up in terms of your baby girl, Ariana. And shout out to Ariana and the whole Gifford family. We're wishing you the best in terms of any additional surgeries that need to occur with the little premature baby. And Kent, we want you back in VIP, my man. That's it, guys. Let's stream tomorrow. I'll cut you a quick tape in terms of any technical update that we have. I'd look at this line. It's a small target away, small move away. We wanted that top. I was geared up, ready to trade as well with all you guys. Wanted some breakout and momentum here, in addition to the to this triangulation to the pennant. Sometimes some days are diamonds, some aren't. So to the extent that BTC is kind of flashing through a few different patterns, a few different time frames again on that 5-minute flat top versus the candle wicks. She's at it again. So we'll keep our guard up, guys. And Luna, great example. Never overexposed in any specific trade, guys. Always with heavy capital off the screen. And that's a good way to put it. Off the screen. You can go as low as you want to on any specific coin. I'm talking about off the screen, right? You got green off the screen, hammered into that account, right? Always apart from anything that you're looking at trading, guys. Very important. I don't want anybody getting hurt in 2022 as we look at that. And I don't think any VIPs really did, and that's a cool thing to say. I know VIP lost. There was a lot of VIP that I could never get to trade away their Luna, but maybe they'll listen to me now. Hey, maybe they'll listen to me now, huh? Why don't you trade that stuff that you own at a lower price? That'd be good. That'd be a miracle, huh? But we'll talk to you guys soon. Shout out to Angel on top. Hope you're doing well, my man. Shout out to Nikki and Eden Rain and to all you guys. We'll talk to you soon. I'll be in the back.